Today we're going to talk about adding mixed numbers. So we're going to start with 1 2/4 plus 2 3/4. Okay, now when we add this, I am going to go ahead and just draw a picture of this to kind of help us understand what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this picture. So here is my 1 and my 2/4, and now I need to add 2 3/4 to that. Okay, so here is my 2 and my 3/4. So now I'm going to add that all together. So I'm going to start with my parts. So I have 2/4 plus 3/4. So I'm going to start with that 2/4. And now I'm going to add my 3/4. So that's 1/4, 2/4. But I'm going to have another box to do that 3/4 because it won't all fit. So there we go. So now that's that 3/4. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my holes. Okay, so here's my whole numbers and here's my fraction. So if I do this, I notice I have 2/4 plus 3/4, and how many fourths is that? That is 5/4. And then over here is 3 holes. So I have 3 holes plus I have an additional 5/4. And if I come back over here to my problem, 2/4 plus 3/4 is 5/4, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So I've got 3 plus an additional 5/4. But let's think about it. 5/4 is what kind of fraction? It's improper, and you can't have an improper fraction in the middle of your mixed number. I need to change that to a mixed number. So what is 5/4 as a mixed number? If you look at that problem, that picture, 5/4 is equal to what? It's equal to 1 whole and 1/4. Okay? And you could even figure that out by doing 5 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract, go around the world, and I get 1 and 1/4. So I know that 5/4 is equal to 1 and 1/4. Plus I still have that 3 holes. So if you look at this picture, how many holes do you have altogether? You have 4 holes, and then you have 1/4. Well, right here I have 3 plus 1 and 1/4, which would be 4 and 1/4. Okay, so now we're going to do another problem, but we're not going to draw it out. I just did the picture so you can kind of understand how this works. So let's go ahead and do another problem. Okay, this next one is 2 3/10 plus 2 9/10. So I'm going to start by adding my fractions. So they already have a common denominator, which is 10, so I'm going to keep that. And 3/10 plus 9/10 is what? 12/10. And 2 plus 2 is 4. Now I can't say I have 4 and 12/10 because 12/10 is what kind of number? It's an improper fraction. So I need to turn that into a mixed number. So I'm going to do 12 divided by 10. 10 goes into 12 one time. 1 times 10 is 10. I subtract and I get 2. Go around the world and I get 1 and 2/10. So this right here is equivalent to 1 and 2/10. But I also still have that 4. Okay, so I have 4 plus an additional 1 and 2/10. So how much is that all together? 5 and 2/10. But wait, I'm not done. Why? Because I need to reduce or simplify my fraction because 2/10 can reduce. What can go into 2 and 10? 2. So I'm going to divide them both by 2, and I'm going to get 5 and 1/5. Okay, now we're going to try another one and make it a little bit more difficult. Okay, I've got 5 and 1/2 plus 2 and 1/8. Now, my denominator always stays the same, but wait a minute, they don't have the same denominator. So what do I have to do first? I have to find a common denominator. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make this 5/8. Okay, so I've got 5 1/2 plus 2 5/8. So I'm going to go ahead and find that common denominator. 1/2, 5/8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh wait, they both have 8. So there's my common denominator. So let's figure out my numerator. 2, 3, 4. So now this one is now going to be 5 4/8. And this one is going to stay 2 5/8. So now I can add it. So I'm going to start with 4/8 plus 5/8. I know my denominator is going to stay 8. 4 plus 5 is 9. 5 plus 2 is 7. But wait, 9/8 is improper. Can you leave it improper? No, you have to turn it to a mixed number. So I'm going to do 9 divided by 8. 8 goes into 9 once. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract 1, go around the world, 1 1/8. So this right here is 1 1/8. But I also still have those 7 wholes. So altogether, what is that going to be? 8 1/8. Okay, the next one we're going to do is 7 3/5 plus 6 2/3. What I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and press pause, and I want you to try it on your own. And then when you're done, push unpause or push play, and we'll go over it together to see if you got it right. Okay, let's go over it. The first thing you have to do is find a common denominator. So I'm going to do 3/5 and 2/3. So I'll start by listing my multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. Now I'll do some of my 3's. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Oh, I see something they both have. They both have 15. So that's going to be my common denominator. So let's find my numerators. 3, 6, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this is going to be 7 9/15. And this is going to be 6 10/15. So I'm going to add that up. So I know my denominator will be 15, and 9 plus 10 is 19, and 6 plus 7 is 13. So I have 13 plus an additional 19/15. And 19/15 is improper. You cannot leave it improper, so you have to divide. 19 divided by 15. That's going to go in there one time. Subtract, and I'm going to get 4, so I go around the world. That's 1 4/15. Now 1 4/15 is not your answer, that's just this part. 1 4/15. But I also have this 13. So all together I have 14 4/15. Now does that reduce at all? No, because there's nothing that goes into 4 and 15. I hope you got that right. Let's do one more problem. Okay, we're going to do 2 5/12 plus 3 3/4. So go ahead and press pause and try it on your own, and when you're done, press play and we'll check it together. Okay, the first thing we had to do was find that common denominator. So I'm going to do 5/12 and 3/4. So 12, 24, 36. Let's do some of my 4's. 4, 8, 12. There we go. That 12 will be my common denominator. So that's 3, 6, 9. So I've got 2 5/12. That stays 2 5/12. And that is going to be 3 9/12. Okay, so now I'm going to add that up. My denominator stays 12. 5 plus 9 is 14, and 2 plus 3 is 5. 14/12 is improper, so I need to turn that into a mixed number. So 14 divided by 12. 12 goes into 14 once. Subtract. Go around the world, 1 and 2/14. Now that's not my answer, that's just this part, 1 and 2/14. I still need to remember that 5. So I've got 5 plus an additional 1 and 2/14. So that is going to be 6 and 2/14. But wait, what can I do now? I can reduce it because 2 can divide into 2 and 14. So I'm going to divide that and I'm going to get 6 and 1/7. I hope you understand how to add mixed numbers now.